we ready? We were just making sure you guys were ready. Everybody ready? It's been a long time coming for these graduates and their families. I'm sure it has been an epic journey. You must all be so excited today. I'm excited. I'm excited to just know them and work with them for a few years while they've been here, and they've amazed us with their devotion and dedication to this organization. We're so lucky to have worked with this team of residents and to see them now grow up and go out on their own and do amazing things to serve our communities. Okay, I'm told we're ready now. Let's start the official procession. Brodes H. Hartley Jr., CEO. Anthony Blake Hall, President. Dr. St. Anthony Amofa, Senior Vice President, Chief Medical Officer, Chief Academic Officer, and Designated Institutional Officer. Dr. Elizabeth Philippe, Chief of Family Medicine, Program Director, Family Medicine Residency Program, Associate Designated Institutional Officer. Dr. Tamara Wright, Associate Program Director, Family Medicine Residency Program. Dr. Abiona Redwood, Family Medicine Curriculum Chair. Dr. Kelly Midon, Family Medicine Faculty and BHHJ-THC Alumni Association President. Dr. Manuel Garcia, Program Director, Psychiatry Residency Program. Dr. Moses Riverone, Associate Program Director, Psychiatry Residency Program. Dr. Beatrice Diangia, Teaching Faculty for the Psychiatry Residency Program. Dr. Cristina Colon del Toro, Teaching Faculty for the Psychiatry Residency Program. And now to the graduates. Dr. Jamie Bulldog. She will be joining Sanitas Health Care Center in Florida. Dr. Janie Garcia Oviedo, joining Jackson South Medical Center in Florida. Dr. Romina Lee, who is devoted to working with underserved populations. Dr. Janelle White plans to remain with us and work in primary care. In psychiatry, we have Dr. Jana Erica Kua. What an exciting day. We're so thrilled that all of you could be with us here today to celebrate this milestone in the lives of our graduating residents and the history of community health of South Florida. Now, you might not know, but this is a very, very special graduation for us as it coincides with CHI's 50th anniversary, marking our legacy of excellence in healthcare and training the next generation of physicians. Today, as we congratulate and bid farewell to our graduates, we stand in admiration of their growth as young doctors, problem solvers, and public health advocates. We have a wonderful ceremony planned for you today. It is a virtual graduation. As you know, we're in a pandemic, so we have a few select people here with us today, but there are many friends and family members watching from home, cheering you all on today, so I'm sure you can hear their cheers virtually. You know, COVID has pushed us into a format in much the same manner the pandemic has changed this class of physicians and the way they will practice medicine forever. These graduates are making history. They finished their residencies in one of the most trying times to be in healthcare and be serving the community, and all of them have risen to the occasion and are stronger for it. Graduating today are 4 family practice residents and 1 psychiatry resident. Also accepted into child and adolescent psychiatry fellowships are Dr. Carlos Melvin Diaz. He's going to be accepted in New York program, and Dr. Franklin Zia for a Georgia program. We're very, very proud of these gentlemen as well. We'll recognize our chief medical residents and faculty for their outstanding work in their direction of oversight of our programs. And for the first time, we are so excited we will be presenting you with our new Alumni Association. We have a treat for you in our residence. We'll get to hear from our CEO, Colonel Hartley, who will deliver the presidential welcome, and the one and only Dr. Sidney Coupe, who will be our keynote speaker for today. As we progress through the morning, I'll try to spice up the program with some fun, interesting facts about CHI, our residents, the medical specialties they've chosen for their practice, and much more. Of course, we have plenty of recognitions to announce as well. But at this time, I'd like to recognize the families of our graduating residents for making it possible to have these young doctors grow with us here. If those families could stand up so we can thank them for all of their support. I'd also like to recognize my own family here at CHI, the corporate staff team who is very devoted to the Teaching Health Center program. Some are watching virtually, some are here, but I want to thank them for all their hard work and dedication to make this program as amazing as it is. At this time, I'd like to invite Reverend Shirley Brown to provide the invocation. Reverend Brown.
Good morning, everyone. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It's a beautiful day in South Florida and a wonderful time for us to pause and recognize our graduating class of 2021. I want, before I begin to pray, to also express my best wishes to CHI on their 50th anniversary serving this community and this region. Let us all bow our heads in prayer. Eternal God, our Father, we thank you for another opportunity to come before your presence. We open our mouths to say thank you for this day that you have made, that we can rejoice and be glad in it. We rejoice, Lord, because you are calling 5 beautiful residents and amazing residents for such a time as this. They've been through a very unprecedented 18 months, Lord God, trying times, navigating the waters of this pandemic. But we thank you for your faithfulness to guide them and persevere, give them the endurance, Lord God, to persevere through this COVID storm. We ask your continued blessings upon the CHI family, and the officers and members, the staff, all the doctors, the mentors, the preceptors, Lord God. We thank you for all that they have invested and deposited in these new generation of residents. Now, Lord, we ask you on this memorable occasion, we ask your blessing also upon, Lord God, the food that we will partake. We ask you to help it to nourish our bodies, our minds, and our souls. Help us to remember all those who have nothing to eat. And thank you again for the sacrifices and the sleepless nights of these residents. Thank you for their families and all they've supported them and contributed, oh God, to their time that we celebrate on today. We bless you, we give you glory, give you honor. In the mighty, matchless name of Jesus, we pray on today. Amen. And if there's a scripture I would leave for the residents, it's from Micah 3, and it says, to do justice, to have mercy, and walk humbly with your God as you go out into our communities to serve the Lord in this awesome calling as a doctor. God bless you on today.
Thank you for that special prayer and blessing, Reverend Brown. If you could all please rise for the national anthem at this time. Okay, at this time, I want to introduce you to a very special person, our Chief Executive Officer. He is a man who always dreams big. There are no small dreams for Mr. Hartley, and one of those big dreams was the Teaching Health Center, which is now, of course, a reality, and now bringing us these fabulous residents that we have here graduating today. You know, as a result of his vision from inception to now, all of the residents have provided care to thousands of patients from the communities we serve and beyond, totaling over 25,000 patient visits. And this does not include all of the inpatient and outpatient visits outside of CHI. And guess how many of these visits have been provided by our graduating residents? Over 69,000 of them. More than half of these patients were uninsured, and 1/5 had Medicaid, a group that have traditionally been underserved by our healthcare system and underrepresented in influence. In other words, the impact that our residents have had on our communities has been so significant, and for this and on behalf of all of our communities, we are forever indebted to you, Mr. Hartley. Mr. Brodes Hartley.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. To all graduates, families, Dr. Coupe, faculty, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to welcome you to the 5th graduation ceremony of the Brodes H. Hartley Jr. Teaching Health Center. As we celebrate, we humbly acknowledge the blessings of God for the success of this institution and the achievements of these graduates, especially during time of this pandemic. This teaching health center is growing its own. The physicians, while some graduates have chosen to practice in various communities throughout the United States, Northwest, Northeast, Southeast, and points in between. Some have decided to remain with CHI, the professional staff at CHI. The value of this program is far-reaching. These residents care for the underserved. They add to our professional staff and our abilities to see more patients. They also keep our faculty on their toes. To teach, you need to be a master of your craft and continuously learning. That said, we have some bright and devoted faculty. As a result of our residents have developed into astute, resourceful doctors. These doctors know not only good medicine, they know compassion, cultural sensitivity, and community service. They have served on the front lines of COVID testing. So today, I am beaming with pride as we congratulate the class of 2021. Again, welcome to all for this celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Hartley. So I mentioned he's the man with the vision, and then our chief medical officer had the execution of that vision. Dr. St. Anthony Amofa and his talented team here at the Teaching Health Center have given birth to CHI Teaching Health Center Baby and have helped it grow and prosper since day one. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Mofa.
Good morning. I am super excited to be here this morning. This is just amazing to get to this milestone in your lives. So let's just put a few things in perspective. For a physician to get to this milestone in their life, what do they have to go through? And I want to remind us, because even for you as graduates, sometimes you forget what you went through. So you had, 3 to 4 years of pre-med, right? Pre-med, and then you managed to get into medical school, 4 years of torture, remember? Anatomy and biochemistry and physiology and biochemistry again and again, and you made it. And then you had to go through all those exams, and you got into residency, and then you had to think about your board exams. So most of you are here today after having spent about 11 years in this journey. And we want to acknowledge that and commend you for that. Let's also remind you, or all of us, that every year about 50,000 plus people apply to med school, and guess how many don't make it? 30,000 don't make it. You did. It didn't end there. You went through med school, and 10 out of 100 did not make it to the end. But you did. That wasn't the end of it. Then you had to find a residency training program. But guess what? Of the thousands of people who apply, over 2,000 don't even get into residency. But you did. Now, our psych residents don't get to write their board exams till a year after they graduate. But for family medicine, they get to do their board exams before they graduate. Out of every 100 residents who take the boards, about 10 to 20 will not make it. But every one of you, family practice residents, you did. So I'd like to ask every one of you to please join me in congratulating these amazing residents on getting to this incredible milestone in their lives, knowing what they've been through. And my super excitement is because for the last 3 to 4 years of your journey, we got to be a part of it. Thank you for that. Okay. So, CHI has always been a hub for student training. We've always, over the years, 20, 30, 40 years or so, trained medical students, pharmacy students, nursing students, phlebotomy students, name it, we have. But about 8 or 9 years ago, Mr. Hartley said, you know, it's time for us to train our own, not have other folks, trainees, come through us. He said, you know, why don't we grow our own with the hope that some of them will want to stay with us? So when the Department of Health and Human Services made available grant funding for a new program called the Teaching Health Center Program, he charged Blake and I, and he said, make this happen, and I think we did. And we didn't do it alone. We were able to pull this off working with such significant talent in the likes of Drs. Philippe and Dr. Wright and Garcia and Reverend Ron and the program faculty and the program coordinators, and with a lot of input and direction from our residents. So most of you know that training to become a physician in this country has been primarily based in hospitals, with the hospitals as a sponsoring institution. With this new funding availability that came up about 8, 9 years ago, it became possible, and the federal government said that we know that these hospitals are not churning out enough physicians to meet the demand. Could we have another path to graduating physicians? Because think about it, right? There's always that pressure of increasing numbers of patients in the population, but not enough physicians to take care of them. There's one statistic that impresses on me. Every day in this country, every day, guess how many people turn 65? And remember, these people acquire Medicaid, they're growing older, so they have lots of health issues. How many people? Every day. 10,000 of them. So if you think of that alone, you can imagine that, you know, it wasn't going to work for the hospital-based program to be alone in providing enough clinicians to meet the demand. So the Teaching Health Center program was created as another path to graduating physicians. And very quickly, it was found out that physicians who trained in these teaching health centers were more likely to work with the underserved, where the need was most significant. And statistics are showing right now that compared to the hospital-based programs, where only 1 in 4 will stay in primary care and in underserved, 3 in 4 graduates do that in the teaching center program. So this is very exciting, and is the reason why the country is moving to developing lots more of these programs. Right now, there are about 60 or so, training about 800 residents a year in primary care, and we get to be one of them. And not just get to be one of them, but one thing Mr. Hartley I'm actually surprised he didn't say it 10 times when he stood up, is that for a long time, we were the only one in Florida. And unfortunately, right now, we just get to boast that we're the first one because it's the second one. smaller one. But we were the first teaching us on a program in the state of Florida. So I do think we have to give ourselves another round of applause, don't we? And all of this have been possible as a result of the vision of this man who told us we could do it. When we felt, Blake and I, what did we know? You know, we administrators, I'm a clinician, but what did we know? But we did it. And we did it because of the talents that we have. And the residents who helped to make sure we always course-corrected. Our residents have contributed significantly to our progress, Mr. Hartley said. The knowledge elevation in this organization is pretty amazing. I get to participate in their teaching, and I get so excited listening to them, teaching them things, and them teaching me lots of things. And I am a better physician because of you guys. But it's not just the knowledge elevation we've seen. You've seen so many patients that would otherwise not have been seen anywhere else. You've provided excellent quality. But I'd like to underscore something that happened last year that Tiffany also mentioned, COVID. CHI was the first health center, the first organization in the state of Florida to provide drive-through testing for COVID. Let me say that again. CHI was the first organization to provide drive-through testing. That was a big deal. But that was only possible because of the residents, because of our graduates, and those of you going to fellowship. All of you, without being asked, jumped to it, and you were out there with us in the trenches, swabbing throats, screening patients, and doing that voluntarily. And thank you for that. So, the Graduate Medical Education Department, under the leadership of our program directors and assistant program directors, Dr. Philippe, Dr. Wright, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Riveron, with our amazing program coordinators and our incredible faculty, have gone through and verified that every one of our graduates have met all the requirements to complete the education in our residency training program. They have verified that every single one of those ACGME requirements have been met. They have made sure that all of the 6 core competencies required for their graduation have been met. And our residents have excelled in these competencies. So, it is my singular privilege as your Chief Academic Officer and as your designated institutional official, I'm sorry, to present to all of you these amazing graduates and residents going to fellowship that have met all the requirements necessary and that have been approved to graduate by our President, our CEO, and our Board of Directors. And so it is an honor to present to you, and please join me, let's all stand and cheer these folks on in congratulating them on having completed this major milestone in their lives. So with that, congratulations, welcome to the profession that we all love so dearly, and please join me in saying thank you.
Man, I've been trying to make Dr. Mofa cry for years. You guys succeeded. I'm impressed. All right. And on this momentous occasion, we're so fortunate to have Dr. Sidney Coupé as our keynote speaker today. Dr. Sidney Coupé is an internal medicine physician with over 10 years of experience. His medical degree is from Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, and he received a Master of Public Health and Health Policy Management at the Geisinger Medical Center. He is the Chief Medical Officer at the Coupé Quality Clinic, where he provides healthcare services to hundreds of ethically diverse patients. Please welcome Dr. Coupé.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the warm welcome. And congratulations to the graduates. And, You know, I want to also congratulate Community Health CHI of South Florida. You know, this congratulation is actually for everyone, because as you hear me speak this morning, actually, you guys are going to realize why this event is so important. You know, to the graduates, you finally made it. The sacrifices you made to get to this moment, the moment where you become a practicing doctor, a physician, you all should be proud of yourselves. If you can be so kind and offer me your authentic self this morning as I speak to you, and often the reason I ask for your authentic self is because a lot of times an imposter shows up. It shows up in an attempt to take over or attempt to take credit for what you have accomplished. But I am here to remind you that the real you, that is who's behind all of this. The measure of your life is not about the degrees you hold or what you think you know. Not at all. It's about what you have done and who you have touched in the process. You see, you're entering a career that has many problems. And the question that you should be asking yourself is, which of these problems are you going to dedicate your life to solving? The simple fact that you are graduating from this program tells me that health disparities is important to you. And if by any chance it's not, then you're lying to yourself. You know, the problem I decided to address when I was in your seats almost a decade ago, wow, time flies, was indeed health disparities or health inequities. I want to take the time to share with you that I have witnessed that my unapologetic self has started to eliminate health disparities, and it's going to take the unapologetically you to eliminate health disparities once and for all. You see, we are indebted by the leaders that you have here today. Mr. Hartley, thank you for your vision, sir. Mr. Hall, Dr. Amofa, for your leaderships. So clearly, this morning, I want to talk to you all about health disparities. But in our healthcare system, there's a lot of that, right? We hear about this term, health disparities, as it's something that is distant or something far-fetched or too far to reach. In fact, I'm here to tell you that that's a fallacy. Health disparities is closer to us than you may think. The many patients you have already treated in this community has already grappled with what we call health disparities. Whether they came to discuss their blood pressure issues or even their depression, health disparities have already impacted them and made their condition that much worse. Not being able to afford to buy a medication, that is health disparity. Not being able to get timely appointment with a physician, that is health disparity. Not being able to understand their treatment plan after their appointment, that's health disparity too. Not being able to adhere to the diabetic diet you provided to them, that is health disparity. Not being able to quit smoking or alcohol, that's health disparity. Not being able to avoid substance abuse, that is health disparity. And not having a chance to ask questions about their own health, that's health disparity. You see, in this community, health disparity is not abstract. We are living it, and we're seeing it every day. And as new graduates of this particular program, I am positively certain that you have encountered these issues and many more that I have not mentioned. Not only are these issues health disparities, but they are clearly not as far-fetched as others say they are. The people impacted by health disparities are actually the people you have been treating in this program. So when you hear others in the community or in society talk about health disparities as a topic, or even going along with debates and dialogues about health disparities, without even identifying any accountability during these conversations. I give you all full permission to step in. Because while they continue to talk about health disparities, you are taking actions to solve it. Your experience in this program has set up to eliminate health disparities by improving the care that is delivered to each and every one of your patients. I'm congratulating you guys because you guys are the experts when it comes to health disparities. So let's talk about health disparities, right? So health disparities among Blacks and Latinos and American Indians have persisted for many years and led to increased morbidity and mortality for these groups while costing our healthcare system greatly. That's right. The existence of health disparities make our healthcare system that much more expensive. So just talking about health disparities is clearly not enough, but also not having a clear understanding of what it is can cause us to miss our target, which could be detrimental in finding real solutions. So I'll give you an example. The NIH, the National Institute of Health, defines health disparities as such: the differences that exist among specific groups in the United States in the attainment of full health potential that can be measured by differences in incidence, prevalence, mortality, and burden of diseases and other adverse health conditions. That's how they defined it. They said the differences that exist among groups. You see, the NIH clearly stated the differences very clearly for us. But the CDC definition of health disparities states this: health disparities are preventable differences in the burden of diseases, injury, violence, or opportunities to achieve optimal health experience by socially disadvantaged racial, ethnic, and other population groups and communities. The CDC started their definition with preventable differences. So the differences between those two definitions, for one, the NIH basically stated the obvious. It's the obvious, that there is an absolute difference that exists between groups in our country. Like some of my students would say, duh, right? The CDC, on the other hand, took a step further and declared that health disparities is preventable. Now we're getting somewhere, right? And they stopped there, though, unfortunately. I hope you see in both the NIH and the CDC definition, health disparity lacked accountability. Who can prevent it? What can be prevented? Okay, health disparities exist. We live it, we know that. The WHO, on the other hand, defines health disparities as such: health disparities are the inequalities that occur in the provision of health care and access to health care across different racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups. The WHO definition of health disparities directly state that the inequalities in health in a population is due to the actual health care and or the population inability to access that health care. This is a much better definition, in my opinion, because this definition provides a more tangible and measurable reason which would allow for a higher chance of finding feasible solutions. I hope you get that. So let me uncollapse it a little bit more for you. Let us start with the WHO's definition of the fact that populations are unable to access health care. So we know historically, expanding access to high quality care has certainly shown to be beneficial with the expansion, for instance, of health insurance coverage, right? It's a no-brainer. People who would not otherwise qualify for health insurance has now the ability to do so and get health care services. But despite those efforts, health disparity persisted. Health disparity is a conversation that's been happening for decades. So simply increasing the access to healthcare services is not enough, and certainly should not just stop there. We're falling short. So the WHO definition also mentioned that the provision of healthcare services is a culprit. And that's when I said, aha, this is where we step in. So the provision of healthcare is the delivery of healthcare services. And that is you caring for your patient. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to create a long-term solution towards eliminating healthcare disparities in our communities, and we want to eliminate it once and for all, right? We're not just talking about it. We need to focus on the care that is delivered to patients in the community, as well as the overall healthcare experience that they have. And the best person, the absolute best person to do that is you. And again, that's why I congratulate you. Look, the WHO's definition of health disparities, in my opinion, is why you are here today. This is why CHI exists, and this is why I believe that the solution to health disparities lies in your hands. Again, we want to thank your leaders and the visionary behind this. It's in the care you deliver to each patient, guys. Although social determinants of health play a huge role in health disparities, don't let it discourage you. Or worse, let it cause you to fall in the trap of believing that these issues are out of your hands. Can you imagine? Social determinants of health? Don't be frazzled when you hear that word. You guys are the expert. Remember, you can have an impact on all of those social determinants of health by suppressing them through improving the care you deliver to each of your patients. Do you get that? By simply showing dignity and empowering all of your patients, you will see how the impact of those social determinants slowly diminish. I assure you, your role is not small. In fact, it is critical. You have the role that can eliminate health disparities once and for all. Although the acknowledgement of your power is hidden in today's conversations, look, back in 2002, the Institute of Medicine reported that health disparities existed beyond just not having access to care. So this is not a new concept. They said that before in 2002. And they also said that we need to also consider bias, discrimination, and stereotyping at the provider and patient level. That's you and your patient. Discrimination is found in essentially all clinical settings and creates disparities in preventable services, chronic disease management, and even access to curative care such as surgical procedures. Now I hope you see why your role is crucial. Focusing on access alone has never and it will never be enough. This is why measuring the satisfaction of your patients and their overall experience with you is certainly going to help to start the process of eliminating health disparities. It's you guys. The importance in eliminating health disparities cannot be overemphasized. I am sure I don't have to tell you guys that. But in case you want a reference, you can use this recent pandemic as a case study, right? The consequences of having existing health disparities made this COVID-19 pandemic a super predator on our communities with disproportionate rate of morbidity and mortality among the Blacks and the Latinos in this country. When you have health disparities that has permeated for decades, you will find the loss of many lives. You will find a disruption of all sectors. And you will find a complete shutdown of a nation. What happens to your neighbor does matter. But like I said, you as graduates from CHI already know that. But I am here to tell you that the time to do something about it is now. In your role, you can reduce mortality and morbidity through early detection and treatment of health conditions. In fact, by simply practicing in this community and similar communities around the country, you will automatically contribute in providing a more equitable distribution of quality healthcare services in this country. So you see, it is you that is needed, not just simply increasing access to care by giving more people insurance coverage. It is you. It is also not just simply remodeling the neighborhoods by bringing healthy supermarkets to eliminate food deserts in our communities. It's not just improving the economic situation for people by creating more jobs in these communities. It is certainly not just the idea of investing more in law enforcement by putting more police officers on the streets to reduce crime. Now, although these initiatives are important, but they themselves are not enough. Nope, not enough. Not at all. It is you. It is you that is needed. And what happens between you and your patient is what matters the most. The person that can influence greatly the outcome of your patient is you, doctor. The person that can ultimately suppress the social determinants of health of that patient is you, doctor. The person that can ultimately eliminate health disparities is you. But not just any you, right? So a lot of times we hear people say, bring yourself, show up. What does that mean? Well, in the patient-doctor relationship, that's a sacred relationship. If you want to have influence over your patient, if you want to have influence over their chronic disease management, you need to be connected with them. That's right. I'm talking about connection. You need to relate to them in a humane way. If you're trying to empower them, that's the only way to do that. If you want to show them dignity, show them your humanity. Relatedness is important, and it requires you to step out of your white coats for a moment so your patient can see you, the authentic you. The you that has flaws, doctor. The you that can be wrong and make mistakes. The you that has emotions. The you that shows integrity with your word. In fact, sometimes the you that can show your patient, you can dance with them, right? You can smile with them. You know, you enjoy the same food as they do, right? You know the music that they listen to. In fact, you know, they sometimes come in and tell you about the TV shows that they watch. I'm sure you watch them too. So by sharing that with them, connects with them. So, you see, what I'm looking for in these new graduates, new physicians, new doctors, I'm looking for the cultured you, the relax you, right? I'm glad there's not a lot of ties here, you know, just relax, right? What I'm trying to say is you need to be authentic so the unapologetic you can show up in your work. I am more than healthcare. And I believe you are more than healthcare. And the sooner you see that, the sooner we can bring humanity back into healthcare, into our healthcare system, and eventually eliminate health disparities once and for all. I hope now you know why it's important to be unapologetically you in healthcare. Once again, I want to congratulate you all and welcome aboard. Thank you.
Wow. Dr. Coupe, that was tremendous. Thank you so much. I love it. You said, show them your dignity, show them your humanity. And another takeaway, you said, you have the role to eliminate health disparities once and for all. Some really profound words and takeaways from Dr. Coupe. Thank you so much for that today. Let's give him another round of applause. All right, and at this time, I'd like to invite Drs. Elizabeth Philippe and Dr. Manuel Garcia up to the stage so we can present our Chief Residence Awards. Let's begin with Dr. P.
Well, good morning, everybody. So I'm so happy to be here on the fifth graduation of this Teaching Health Center. So we've gone through a lot, and you heard Dr. Coupe, you heard Dr. Mofa, you heard Colonel Hartley. I'm not going to add anything more, so I know you got the message. So with no further ado, I would like to call down Dr. Romina Lee as the Chief Resident for Family Medicine. And then Dr. Garcia will come after me.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I am very glad to be part of this organization and the vision of Colonel Hartley. And now, without further ado, our Chief Resident, Jana Cuba.
Now we're going to hear from one of those young, bright minds. Dr. Romina Lee is going to speak, our Chief Resident.
Good morning. First, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, everyone here that's gathered to celebrate such a huge milestone in all of our lives. I'm a first-generation American, raised not too far from here, actually 6 miles to be exact. I did not grow up with much, and I did not learn English until I was in first grade, as many of you know, but I had all that I needed: a roof over my head, food on the table, and love from my family. And for all the little things that I had and have, I am so grateful. Today is a very special day for me, as I am certain it is for all of the graduates. It is a culmination of many years of hard work, sacrifice, as well as dreams coming true. As a young girl, I always knew that I wanted to give back to my community, but I never really knew how I would give back to my community. It wasn't until I ventured off to college that I dabbled with the idea of becoming a physician. Unfortunately, during my undergraduate studies, I had one guidance counselor tell me that I was not going to be good enough to be a doctor and that I would not make it through medical school. As a result of those words, I became discouraged about realizing my lifelong dreams and took what I like to now call my life-changing detour. I took a job at Mass General Hospital in Boston as a project coordinator, and then as a quality and compliance officer, none of which really fulfilled my craving for helping others. I learned different aspects of the medical field, but none ever really gave me meaning to my life. Then one day, one of my physician bosses sat me down during lunch and asked me what I wanted to do with my life. It was a candid conversation between two friends. Until that moment, I hadn't really given much thought to what my future would be. I told her of my dreams of someday becoming a physician, and she asked me why I didn't pursue my dreams. I told her I was worried I wouldn't be good enough, and told her the story of my guidance counselor. She filled me with confidence and told me to believe in myself and my abilities. And for the first time, that young girl started believing that she could. When an opportunity arose to join Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program as an outreach worker, helping the chronically homeless individuals in Boston, my bosses at Massachusetts General Hospital encouraged me to apply. So I did. I applied, I interviewed, and to my surprise, I was hired. I served the homeless for 4 years, and I loved every single minute of it. I had found my calling, helping those who had no one to advocate for them. And it was this pivotal moment in my life that I realized that I needed to do more. I wanted to not only learn the art of medicine, but I wanted to become an advocate, a teacher, a doctor. My then boss and forever mentor, Dr. James O'Connell, encouraged me to apply to medical school. And with the help of everyone that had crossed my path, I applied, and I was accepted to medical school. Fast forward through some very difficult times of having lost my brother in a car accident, my father to cancer, my mom becoming ill, some grueling hours and sleepless nights in medical school, to the time that I came across CHI. I first came to CHI as a third-year medical school student. When I completed my pediatrics rotations with Dr. Perhorkes and Dr. Roman, they left an impression on me. Sorry. This is really dreams coming true here, so. So I learned so much during those 4 weeks that I decided to do my elective at CHI again. I had found the place that fulfilled my heart's craving to learn and serve those with the most need. I started calling CHI my little hidden gem in the South. So when the time came to apply for residency, Dr. Philippe had mentioned to me that she thought I would be a great fit for CHI. And she encouraged me to join the CHI team. So I did another rotation at CHI during my 4th year. The more time I spent seeing patients here, the more I knew it was a right fit for me. And I'm so happy that I joined the CHI family, because it really has been a family. This residency program has given me so much more than I could have ever asked for. I have taken care of the underserved community that I had always dreamed of serving, and it has provided me with a plethora of knowledge on diseases that other residents only really see in textbooks, and I mean that. It really continues to live up to being the little gem in the South. I tell you my story not to bore you with details, but with a grateful heart to remind everyone here to cherish the journey, the good, the bad, all of it. The individuals we think don't impact us, but in their own way they do. They influence the way we behave, the outlook on our daily attitudes. I am grateful for each and every single individual, even my undergraduate counselor. If he hadn't given me his opinion, I would have never had my detour and met all the wonderful people that I've met. So I am grateful. For those of you who have not given me an opportunity, to those who have provided me with support, guided me, inspired me, believed in me, encouraged me to become that little girl's dream a reality. The real truth is that none of us got here alone. Everyone that we meet plays a very important role and will continue to play an important role in our life journey. Remember to be kind to each other, encourage each other to be good, to live in peace. So I want to thank all of the attendings, all of the staff, Colonel Brodes, Hartley. I want to say thank you to everyone, the PCTs, the THT staff. I want to thank Dr. Philippe, Dr. Wright, Dr. Redwood, Dr. Philippe, Thank you for being the kind and caring person that you always are. You have done so much for us, and you truly carry out CHI's motto to give everyone an opportunity, no matter where they come from. I want to read some excerpts from one of my favorite American poets and activists, Amanda Gorman's inaugural poem, The Hill We Climb. And so we lift our gaze, not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We laid down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together. That if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy. For there is always light if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. I hope that all of you, including the residents graduating today, Janie, Jamie, Janelle, Jana, the past and future graduates, I want you to know how grateful I am for all of the experiences that we have had together. The bad, the good, we have all had our moments, but we are all together in our journey to accomplish our lifelong dreams that we had as little boys and little girls, and are now making them a reality. I am honestly so proud of all of you for being so determined to get everything you want in life and for not being deterred by anything or anyone. CHI has become my home for the last 3 years. I have shed some tears here, had copious amounts of laughter. As many of you know, I have sang and danced my little heart out. I hope everyone is ready for my encore later on with Margie. Thank you to all of you for putting up with my singing, especially the ladies in the THC office and the THC clinic. Don't worry, I will make sure to continue recording myself and send you special videos. But in all seriousness, I have made some friends that I know will be in my life for years to come. CHI will always be my little gem in the South. And for all of us here today, thank you. And I hope that your hearts are filled with as much gratitude as mine. Thank you for the memories, the camaraderie, but most importantly, the opportunity to reach my lifelong dreams. I really couldn't have had my dreams come true without CHI. I am forever grateful. I hope that as we all continue our journey, we continue to remember all of those individuals who have been a guiding light, and that we remember to be a guiding light for others. Thank you.
Dr. Lee, we're so proud of you. You're a phenomenal young woman, a phenomenal physician. I'm so happy you followed your dream. We're so happy you followed your dream and made CHI your home. And know that CHI is always going to be your home, and it will always be the home to all of the graduates that are leaving us today, some staying, but forever, hopefully, connected to us. So at this time, I'd like to call up Colonel Hartley, as we're going to be moving forward with some special family medicine and psychiatry awards. The first award is a CEO award. You could come on up, Mr. Hartley. This CEO award exemplifies exceptional leadership for a doctor that has a vision and is committed to providing overall quality care in our institution. And the recipient of that award is Dr. Carlos Melvin Diaz. Let's give him an applause. I know he couldn't be here today because he chose to go to his kids' graduation over his own, but that is very much evidence of who he is as a person. But we celebrate him here today. Mr. Hartley will accept it on his behalf. You have it there? Okay. All right. And next is going to be Dr. Mofa for our DIO award. Our DIO award goes to a strong academician. That's a big word. You know what I'm talking about. And someone with a good base of clinical knowledge and a great ability to incorporate that knowledge into their practice. And the recipient of that award, of course, will be staying with us here at CHI, Dr. Janelle White. Congratulations. Mr. Hall, if you could come up for our Doris Eisen Award. For those of you who don't know, Doris Eisen is our founder, and so this award is based on somebody who's a strong federally qualified health center advocate, who has a strong interest in compassionate and quality patient care and research geared to furthering the mission of CHI, much as our founder, Ms. Eisen, did for the organization herself. And for family medicine, the recipient of that award is Dr. Ramina Lee. Okay, and the recipient of the Psychiatry Award is Dr. Franklin Eze. All right, I like it. That's a well-dressed doctor there. If I could call up Dr. Wright to present our Resident of the Year Award, and it goes to residents and patient advocates who are considered to be extremely trustworthy, which is one of the themes that we heard Dr. Coupe talk about, being authentic and trustworthy. For family medicine, we present the award to Dr. Janelle White. And for psychiatry, the award goes to Johnny Mesa, Dr. Johnny Mesa. Okay, she's not here with us today. Dr. Riverone, if I could have you come up to present the Resident Teacher of the Year Award. That award is for being proactive in teaching and guiding residents for rotations, providing positive feedback on all outside rotations, and representing CHI well for our standards of excellence. For family medicine, that award goes to Dr. Johnny Garcia Oviedo. Congratulations. For psychiatry, we award Dr. Raul Uola. So I want to tell you, when we were starting the Teaching Health Center, it was important to us that we had a logo that represents who we are and, you know, the plans that we had for this great program. And Mr. Hartley was very intimately involved in developing that logo. I'm telling you, we spent months developing this logo because he was so passionate about it, just like he is about everything else. So I'm going to ask Mr. Hartley to explain the significance of that eagle logo.
the logo, the eagle. The Teaching Health Center logo. Why the eagle? The Holy Bible mentions eagles over 30 times in both the New and the Old Testaments, often to portray the power of God. Bald eagle is a national symbol of the United States. It's also the insignia of a military officer's rank. Vision, strength, versatility, faithful, fearless, tenacious. These are traits that you find in the eagle. Vision. Eagle's vision is about 5 times better than humans. Eagles can see up to 3 miles away. Eagles have 1 million cones per millimeter square. Strength. Eagles will use their strong talons to drop their prey free fall. After the prey is dead, the eagle will devour its meal. Versatile. Eagles can walk. Eagles can swim. And they fly. They can fly as high as 15,000 feet and up to 160 km per hour. Faithful. Eagles are monogamous. I say that again. Eagles are monogamous. Till death do us part. They are fearless. An eagle will never surrender to the size or strength of its prey. It will always fight to win its prey or regain its territory. Eagles are tenacious. When a storm comes, other birds will fly away. The eagle spreads its mighty wings and uses the current to soar to greater heights. The traits of eagles is what we expect from leaders. Graduates, be leaders. Thank you.
Thank you for that passion and that vision, Mr. Hartley. So, without further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for, we will begin the presentation of certificates and the Eagle Medallion and the Crystal Eagle Awards. At this time, I'd like Dr. Philippe and Dr. Garcia to join the Colonel and present the graduation certificates and the awards. And the graduating class of 2021, graduating residents in family medicine, congratulations, Dr. Jamie Bulldog, family medicine. Congratulations, Dr. Janie Garcia Oviedo, Family Medicine. Congratulations, Dr. Ramina Lee, Family Medicine. By the way, I can never get enough of Dr. Lee, and if you'd like to see more of her, there is a whole Teaching Health Center video on our YouTube page which describes the program through her eyes, so I encourage you all to watch it. And our last family medicine graduate, Dr. Janelle White. And of course, our psychiatry resident, Dr. Jana Erica Kua. Do you guys notice something about this graduating class? Hello. Hello, girl power. I wanted to play a Beyonce song, but they told me it was inappropriate. Okay, at this time, Dr. Mofa and Colonel Hartley, we'd like you to come up and present the faculty awards. They're just going to be the Vanna Whites. I'm going to talk through it. Okay. This first award is for our keynote speaker who gave us a tremendous address today, Dr. Sidney Coupe. This next award, if you've ever read our history book, is the Priscilla Knighton MD Award for Family Medicine for the Teaching and Faculty of the Year Award. Dr. Knighton was a clinical professor at the University of Miami School of Medicine, where she taught residents in family medicine. She studied constantly to remain abreast of medical knowledge because she felt that her patients deserved it. This award is presented to Dr. Abiona Redwood. This next award is the Psychiatry Teaching Faculty of the Year Award, and that goes to Dr. Manuel Garcia.
I had to make a couple of comments. This is going completely off script, but on behalf of Dr. Philippe, Dr. Wright, Dr. Ivron, the Teaching Health Center program coordinators, and CHI leadership. We want to say thank you to this gentleman here for something that he did for CHI that some of you are not aware of. So a few years ago, we lost our program director for the residency training program. Now, for a program that was beginning to go through accreditation, that would have been disastrous. Dr. Garcia came up to us and said, you know something, I'm willing to take the reins on this program until you find someone. And he did that with excellence and passion and commitment, in spite of the fact that he alone is a physician running our CSU program. And that is a daunting task. So Dr. Garcia, we want to let you know how much we appreciate you, how much we've come to where we are because of you, and how much our graduates really owe you for how much you put into the program. So thank you and God bless.
Dedication and passion. I think that's the theme here today. This next award is Community Faculty of the Year Award, and that goes to Dr. Luis Hernandez Rosado. Dr. Hernandez Rosado is from Jackson South, and we're so grateful for their partnership. This next award is the Community Faculty of the Year Award, and that goes to Dr. Aluska Alvarez. We'll accept that on Dr. Alvarez's behalf. Okay, we have some special acknowledgement awards at this time. Yep.
You want to join me? Is she here? Yes, okay, I'll do this one, you do that. Okay, again, earlier this year, we went through some significant stresses with what we think was the impact of COVID and politics, and went through some stresses with our residents trying to find themselves and figure out how to speak to each other. And then we have to figure out, well, they're going to become alumni, and it was necessary for us to make sure that they were educated on the principles of being alumni and the impact and the value they can lend to our existing residents. So in talking to our CEO, Mr. Hartley, he said, well, I know someone who can actually help us do that, someone who can help bring to the table how to fund an alumni association, the value of the alumni association, and the value of alumni to our residents going through some of those stresses. So we're very, very excited to have found Kimberly English. I don't believe Kimberly is able to make it here today, but Kimberly is a director of development at FIU, and we'd like to recognize her willingness to jump and respond to that ask when we need someone to talk to us about forming an alumni association and certainly extending that to our existing residents. So please join me in saying thank you to her. She's not here, but we appreciate her.
The next person that we would like to recognize is our PCT from our clinic, Latoya Harrington Davis. Latoya is the heart of our clinic. She's very proactive. Come on down, Latoya. She is very positive, despite all the hardship that she has gone through. You know, we're so happy to have her with us. If you're having a bad day, Latoya is here to lift you up. So thank you for that positive energy, and we love you so much.
And last but not the least, we would like to acknowledge Lisette Myra. She's not here with us today, but she's a psychiatry social worker who has been very instrumental in the training and education of our graduates. We'll accept that on her behalf, and please join us in saying thank you to her.
Okay, as you all prepare to head out into the world to practice medicine on your own now, we'd like to bestow on our graduates some words of wisdom, which are gathered from some of our seasoned doctors throughout CHI here to make your day and inspire you in your path forward. We have Dr. Moses Riverone.
Can you guys hear me okay with the mask? Good? Can I remove it now? I could? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to start with a couple of quotes before I get on to my bit. So Dr. Mofo wants to let you guys know to aim to be better at all you do than others around you, and fight the urge to spend the big bucks. Dr. Philippe states, always go back to the purpose, do common things uncommonly well, always make time for family. Okay. So, my wife's been telling me for the past couple of weeks not to do the whole quote thing. She says it's very cheesy, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So Winston Churchill once said, "A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." So there's been many difficulties that have presented themselves to all of us here in the past year or so, most being byproducts of the COVID pandemic. So I would challenge each and every one of you today to take some time and think about all the amazing opportunities that have sprouted through this dark time that we might have missed. I'll go ahead and name a few. Number one, the federal student loan payment freeze was 0% interest since March 2020. Number two, astronomically low mortgage interest rates. Number three, the ability for people to work from home, which equals lower monthly gas bills, less miles in the car, more quality time spent with the family. Number four, the overall recognition of the importance of hand washing that will be ingrained in our minds indefinitely. Number five, the creation of coronavirus vaccines. Number six, the implementation of telemed services throughout the medical field, which has given patients easy and convenient access to healthcare professionals. And lastly, number seven, the culmination of all the hard work and sacrifices over the past 3 decades that each of you has made to reach this beautiful moment. So to this graduating class of soon-to-be attendings, I say to you, embrace and accept the dark times when they come, as this will put you on the path of becoming the best versions of yourselves. Godspeed.
Can always count on the psychiatrist to reflect on the positive in a pandemic. Thank goodness, thank goodness. At this time, we want to unveil the inauguration of the Brodes H. Hartley Jr. Alumni Association, which is very exciting for all of us. In fact, many of the alumni are here with us today because they're so deeply connected and committed to this organization and this program. So I'd like to invite Dr. Kelly Moudon, the president of the Alumni Association and a graduate, to tell you more.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. And once again, congratulations to our graduates. As our 5 newest alumni, I'd like to take a moment to welcome you to our newly formed Alumni Association. We thought that today would be an appropriate day to combine your graduation with the inauguration of the Alumni Association. This bridge between past and present becomes more and more important as you get further from today. And
here, you're about to work probably way less and you're about to make way more. Okay, I'm supposed to give you some advice. Kelly sent an email. She said that I should give the graduating class some advice, so she obviously thinks that I'm, a good mentor and a good role model for you people. So here it is. Number one, you're going to be surprised by this. Don't work too much. No amount of stress is worth the money. So it's really important that you take care of yourselves, your mental health, your physical health, get some rest, all that stuff. Big surprise. Number two, be patient with your patients. Let them talk. Let them talk for 2 minutes at the beginning of each appointment. They'll have the impression that you're listening to them, and that's more important than anything else, really. Be kind to your patients, not only because it's the right thing to do, but they'll be a lot less likely to sue you. I'm not saying that as someone who's been sued. I'm pretty friendly to my patients, even if the medicine is kind of, Okay, number three, never give patients your cell number, no matter how urgent you think the situation might be, because they will call you and it will be stupid. But hey, you're about to get out there, you're going to do some great things. Miracles happen. Miracles happen sometimes. You're going to change the lives of a lot of people, and that's why you're here. But on a serious note, you're awesome. You're all great physicians. You're going to make the world a better place. I'm very proud of you, and go out there and get it.
Congratulations, class of 2021. You made it. I wish you guys all the best in whatever that you do. If I had to offer one piece of advice, is to try to find something outside of medicine that you really enjoy. Whether that's music or meditation, sports, going to the gym, just keep that in your daily, day-to-day living, just so you could stay well-rounded and rested and recharged for the next day. So again, I wish you all the best and good luck in all of your careers.
So thank you so much to those participating alumni for those clips and for taking the time to share your words of wisdom. Some wiser than others, Milmer. So at this time, I would like to invite several people to come up. Our newest alumni, the 5 of you, Franklin as well, and any current alumni who are present. I think I saw 4 of us. If we could just form a line in front, as Colonel Hartley explains the significance of the alumni pin that we shall be presenting.
This is a momentous occasion as we inaugurate the Alumni Association. The pin that you will be given today, I hope you will wear it with pride, because it will forever show your connection to CHI and the Brodes H. Hartley Jr. Teaching Health Center. It reflects your collegial relationship with others who have gone on this path of a residency program dedicated to instilling in our physicians the need for access to everyone. And as you know, CHI's motto is patient care comes first. Never forget it. So, alumni, thank you. And we will now present the pins to the alumni.
All right, let's give our alumni a round of applause. Proud moment for us that you guys are always connected to us. And who knew that you could chase down a colada with a lime or go wading in the ocean with these guys? Now I know who I want to hang out with. I've been doing it all wrong. Congratulations on the induction into the Alumni Association, and please continue to help us push this great program forward. Thank you for your investment and for your devotion to this organization. So I think today we've all shed our tears of happiness and sadness at the same time with this bittersweet occasion, and it's been a bittersweet year for all of us as well. And I want to invite Dr. Philippe up here to mark some special things throughout this pandemic and for today as well. Dr. Philippe.
So thank you, Stephanie. I don't have a speech, but the only thing I want to say is to thank you. Thank you, graduate, for the privilege you're giving us to invest our time in teaching you. I hope you did get something right. The alumni, we thank you for, Raul and Michael, to make the effort to come and be with us today. I'm not forgetting Kevin, of course, and thank you for the flowers. They are very beautiful. So far, I think we're doing something right. We have 100% board pass rate. We haven't had any call from any institution saying what kind of person you sent to us. So I hope we will continue to represent CHI in your special way, and always think about helping your community. Be hopeful. Follow the guidance from Dr. Coupe. Health disparities it's a big issue, but you are the one that we're standing out there to change the world. I want to thank everybody who has invested the time in guiding you, and particularly to all the GME staff. I'm going to say the faculty, I'm going to say the PCTs, I'm going to say the PFSS, the whole CHI community. I want to say also thank you to our coordinators who have put the time and effort to make this day a beautiful one. Thank you especially to Barbara Trost, to Margarita Torres, to Angela Rivera, and our program assistant, who soon will be a mommy, Cynthia Diegues. You should have seen her running around with her feet right now swollen with all this. So thank you very much. But also, history is very important for us, right? And we would not end today without having a special moment of silence for one of your faculty who unfortunately is not here today with us and who had invested the time and the passion to teach you. I want you to remember Dr. Mabel Bohorquez, and each one of you had their special moment with her. So this month marked her first year of death, so she died last year during the COVID epidemic, and we will always remember her. If she was alive today, she will be here with you, that no doubt. And so wherever she is, she's watching and she's seeing you, and I'm sure she will be proud of each one of you. So let's take a moment of silence to remember her and say thank you to her. So thank you, Mabel. Thank you again, and good luck, guys. One last quote. May you always have a dream to inspire you, wisdom to guide you, and good friends beside you. What was that? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Philippe. What a wonderful morning we've had. I'm so proud of everyone here today. We're so proud of you guys. And to bring this great occasion to a close, I'd like to call up our president, Blake Hall.
Wow. I think it's time to party, isn't it? We ready to party? Okay, well, I think I was asked partially to close because of my abilities at brevity, so I'll try to keep this a little bit short. But I did want to say that it is my honor to participate in today's ceremonies and to be a small part of your memories. When we started today's event, the comment of doctors, problem solvers, and public health advocates was mentioned. I would also like to add to that list sisters, teachers, and leaders. Congratulations. You joined the Brodes H. Hartley Jr. Teaching Health Center program, and you took flight. Among many things, in the middle of your destination, your wings were strengthened by the winds of justice, inclusion, and who would have guessed a pandemic. Thank you for entrusting your training and education with us. Your commitment to the underserved community is without question. You know, I once heard someone say that great things come from great pain. And the rebuttal to that was, not all things come from great pain. Sometimes it's love. And there's no doubt that you've experienced all of the above during your time here as a resident with us. Know this, you are great. You are a leader,